Kermit's Swamp Years is a dull, joyless affair that offers practically nothing I actually like out of the Muppets. I didn't chuckle or smile once, and I can't remember the name of any character introduced in this movie.
Who are you?
Okay, I take that all back. None of that applies to Roy. For some reason, the extremely casual tone in his voice was just hilarious to me.
I'd like to welcome you to our little pet store here, if you know what I mean.
Genuinely, this is a void where entertainment goes to die. I guess this had a terrible CG fly at the beginning. Kermit meets a young Jim Henson, and just in case you couldn't tell it was him from this mailbox, they then cut to a shot of just the mailbox. You know, in case you missed it, it was pretty small in the last
reference.
The science teacher villain in this was so lame. He reminded me a little bit of Wanda Sykes in the Sandy Cheeks movie. Honestly, I would rather watch the Sandy Cheeks movie than this. If this movie was your childhood, I'm sorry.
Well, thanks, James. I appreciate your genuine concern about me.
That your childhood sucked and your parents should have shown you Romeo and Juliet seal with a kiss instead.
Well, fuck you!
And I'm sure glad I did, because I got back the hour I wasted watching this movie. Oh! But all I heard about the TV movie that actually did so was that it's pretty bad. So I watched it, and it's pretty bad. Gonzo talks to a sexy PS2 lady, and then she morphs into a chicken, and this gets him really horny. I think this might be the single most bizarre scene I've ever seen in any of these Muppets movies. And this is a movie that features an extended Quentin Tarantino cameo. But like, he's not even part of the story. It's like a Family Guy cutaway to him pitching to Kermit what should happen in the fight scene of the movie we're currently watching. It's so weird, and it's never explained what it's doing here, and it visually looks like a Neil Breen movie. And who made this shit? I think the only thing I kind of enjoyed consistently was Miss Piggy as the Wicked Witch of the West, who's kind of like a cool biker lady in this. It was pretty fun to see her act unabashedly villainous for a change. Though the fact that she plays the other witches too is what really made me realize, wow, they really don't have any other female Muppets, do they? There's like the one lady in the band, and that's it. This is awkward. Do you see the trapdoor? Can you go down this trapdoor? Oh, that trapdoor? Yeah, that trapdoor. Fuck you. This movie is so unlikable. Did anything else happen in this? They find George Bluth in the attic. At one point, Dorothy goes through this machine and they turn her into a white lady. Like, Kermit wishes he was never born, so we gotta do a whole Wonderful Life parody that doesn't get started until the last 30 minutes. We also get to see the angels working in a heaven cubicle. And God herself, played by Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, wasn't that fitting casting? I kept waiting for her to actually interact with a Muppet, but she never does. She just sits back and watches Kermit's depressing life on TV the whole time. I like when she said she wanted to watch SpongeBob instead. That was so real. He doesn't even really move the plot forward. He just gets a letter an hour in from a guy who found his script and wants to produce the show. And just when you think the plot is getting back into motion, Kermit gets hit by a car and gets amnesia. First of all, it would have been really funny if the car just sent the puppet flying. I really wish they would have done that. I like that all the Sesame Street guys were invited. I don't know, man. I'm kind of a sucker for the Sesame Street cameos in these movies. The Muppet movie! The original! The classic! Would you guys kill me if I said this one's a little overhyped for me? And the stuff with the insane frog-leg selling villain is all pretty fun as well. It's nice that this movie has a human bad guy who really matches the zany tone of the Muppets. And he had some great moments throughout. Like, the Mel Brooks one really worked, because he was an actual character. Like him showing up as a crazy German scientist who wants to scramble Kermit's brains for the frog leg seller weirdly fit very well. But then you got Carol Kane showing up when Kermit says myth, and I don't know, I didn't really get what the joke was there, aside from, like, she has a lisp, and also, it's a cameo. Like, we're introduced to this growth serum right here, and then 5 minutes later, Animal grows really big, and that just scares the main villain off. I would have liked something a little more exciting, or a little more goofy as a way of taking him down. Honestly, I think it might have my single favorite visual and funniest moment in all of the Muppets, which is just the shot of Kermit trying to hold Miss Piggy up as they're dangling from a cliff. Tell me his face is not the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. I don't know, man. I kind of wish Gonzo could have just played Jim Hawkins. Is that, like, against the Muppet Code or whatever? Can Gonzo play a child character? Is that legal? Hey, it's me! Famous Muppet character Quentin Tarantino! Oh my god, Quentin Tarantino! I love that movie you made where Leo pointed at a screen and, I forget what else happened in it. I showed Margot Robbie's dirty feet! Oh yeah, You know, you're not really a whole lot better than the sexy PS2 chicken lady. Yeah, but I'll make up for it with a cool thing you could do to kill her. Just shoot her with— If you say dehydration gun, I am going to fucking kill you. I was gonna say your laser vision. Right, my laser vision. How could I forget that I have that and canonically have this whole time? Thanks, Quentin Tarantino. Hey, no problem. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to find something to do with my time since I still don't know what my 10th movie's gonna be about. Maybe I'll take up website making or something. But I don't know the first thing about it. Do you? Oh, Quentin, my guy, you're gonna let us sit down for this. Let's talk about Squarespace now. Wow, Squarespace is pretty cool. No wonder Martin Scorsese was nominated for Best Director the same year as me when he made that Squarespace commercial. I'm pretty sure he was nominated for, like, The Irishman, but I don't feel like checking. Maybe it was the Squarespace commercial. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the chicken now. Hey, baby, it's me, Constantine. I mean Kermit. Thank you for killing the wizard for us all. If no one has any objections, I will now take his place and I will give you this mortgage loan to put on your sandwich. Muppets from Space! I heard this one was not that great going in, and to that I have to say, you're not that great. Asshole. So Gonzo is really sad that there's no one else like him, and he doesn't know where or who his family is. And in typical unhinged Muppet fashion, they get this across by cold opening on a dream he's having where Noah from Bible denies him access to the Ark because there's no other creature like him. You are seriously missing out if you've never seen these movies. Oh my god, where have they been all my life? There's always money in the banana stands, Gonzo! Rizzo makes friends in prison. Gonzo talks to a sandwich at one point. Miss Piggy gets into a karate fight with this one agent and then kicks him in the balls and he pogs. Do I even need to, like, elaborate on why I like this movie? I could just list off the gags and you'll probably get it. Well, ha! How do you go from making a pretty good Muppets movie to making ha? What happened, Tim? Maybe he got his brain lobotomized like they were gonna do to Gonzo in this movie. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm gonna be real, you guys, I don't think this song is, like, amazing. It's very funny and a great moment in the story, but, like, Academy Award worthy? It's not even the best song in the movie. Oh well, I guess it was this or gave Rio an Oscar, and I didn't want that. And then Gonzo hits the villain in the head with a bowling ball, and he gets brain damage, and he just gives them the theater back. In the credits. Boo! Commit to something, damn it! Oh! Muppets Most Wanted is the 2014 sequel to the 2011 original film, The Muppets, which was the reboot of the theatrical Muppets series in general that only lasted 2 movies because Disney are cowards. Especially because he gets constantly upstaged by Constantine. Oh man, I think he might be my favorite Muppets villain. What a funny concept. An escaped master criminal from the Gulag who looks exactly like Kermit and steals his identity. I love the way he distorts many of Kermit's iconic lines. And Matt Vogel's voice acting is really good. You can hear Constantine slowly getting better at imitating the Kermit voice as the film goes on. It's a really nice detail. Remember in the opening song when Miss Piggy sang, "The studio considers us a viable franchise"? Man. It was also pretty funny how the opening song playfully teased the idea of there being a Toy Story 4, and now we're on Toy Story 5, good lord. I cried over the frog puppet version of Tiny Tim dying. That's the level of commitment to the bit that this movie is operating on. It got me sincerely emotionally invested in the grief of Kermit and Miss Piggy. But it also helps to have a human actor there who's really bringing his A game, who conveys really good, strong emotion and helps bring the story to life effectively. I can't stress enough, this movie is so much better than it has any right to be. I mean, I guess this one has better songs than Muppets from Space, but that's because Muppets from Space gave up on the whole being a musical thing. I love whenever the Muppets get flung out of something like a bus. Dude, that is such a funny visual. Oh, and Miss Piggy on the motorcycle, don't even get me started. Oh my god. And the pizza bit? Come on! And the joke about the guy not being out with his wife. Oh, that would have gone way over my head as a kid. It was so funny. Oh, and that guy on the bench who just gives that crazy story. What was that about? It also gives us a super lovely and adorable depiction of Kermit and Miss Piggy meeting each other and falling in love. Honestly, this might be my favorite film in terms of how it depicts their relationship. I mean, it's also my favorite film in general because of the, you know. But for Kermit and Miss Piggy 2 is also number 1. It got both categories. Yay.